I've been on city council for 11 years, so that makes me the longest serving council member.
It's been such a privilege to serve this city as the elected controller. The inaugurations have really stood out to me, and I made sure to have a very vocal voice the time that I was here on council, and I think looking back, it's been effective. I feel good that the time that I've been here has been productive.
I'm going to miss in regards to my colleagues on city council. I'm usually referred to as someone that's usually quiet, but when I have something to say, I have something to say.
I think I've really enjoyed being the Mayor Pro Tem. Hopefully Mayor Turner can look at me and say that Dave was a loyal Mayor Pro Tem. He did everything we needed him to do to get things done in the city of Houston.
During the last 8 years of service with Mayor Sylvester Turner, what stands out the most are the recurring federally declared disasters.
We've had Super Bowls, we've had World Series, we've had hurricanes, we've had floods, we've had frost and snow. I mean, we even had snow. And it's those events that add up the moments I think are the best that we have as Houstonians, because in all of those events, we all came together.
Bad things happen, and it's been really impressive to me how when they do, people come together to help each other.
But in between those two dates, a time that was so memorable was when John Lewis was our Grand Marshal for the Martin Luther King Day Parade. And I remember meeting Mr. Lewis with Mayor Turner, with the Mayor Pro Tem at the time, Ellen Cohen, and having a brief but wonderful discussion with him. And that just for me has served as a wonderful inspiration for my time on council.
Well, the moment that stands out most during my term was during the Mayor Parker's administration, whenever we were talking about Uber. The cab drivers had filled the council chamber, and I got a text from somebody, and it said, "Would you please ask, why isn't Dr. Mundy here? We paid him $50,000 to do a study on this very subject." I hit my button, and Mayor Parker said, "Councilmember Kubash?" I said, my question, Mayor, is why isn't Dr. Mundy here? We paid him $50,000 to do a study on this. And she said, "Wow, yeah, that's right." And there was a big discussion, and finally the mayor said, "Councilmember Kubash." And when she said that, I had a chill come all over me because I had no clue who Dr. Mundy was. And she said, "Will you make a motion to delay this so I can get Dr. Mundy here?" I said, "So moved." And Dr. Mundy came the next week.
Particularly during that first World Series parade, I mean, I saw a guy lose his hat off of a parking lot, and it fell to the ground like 5 stories below him, and that hat was returned to him, people throwing it up. And that struck me as something very unique for Houston, because in most cities, when they have a victory like that, the place gets torn apart. We had 2 million people in downtown Houston, and not hardly any problems at all. And that's how Houston is.
What I'm most proud of, I would say, was the work I've done to highlight children in the city.
What I'm most proud of is the agreement between the City of Houston, the Houston Golf Association, and saving the Gus Wortham Golf Course.
We were able to direct ARPA dollars towards, getting them computers, that they wouldn't have had access to.
But these two entities raised money to restore these 2 green spaces, and they're both in District I.
Organizations like the Bezos Academies that are now operating free childcare, we all have a role and responsibility in the success of children. I learned early on that the overpopulation of pets in my communities had really created some very dangerous situations. My team has been responsible for the spaying and neuter of over 6,000 pets.
I'm real proud of the fact that I learned that there was 125 cars in the bayous of the city of Houston, and I worked with the Texas EquiSearch, Tim Miller, and I also worked with the county commissioners and the mayor, and we had a joint agreement to get the cars out of the bayou, and we were successful in that. There were some roadblocks along the way, and then we had the floods and hurricanes, and so we still was able to remove 80, but there's still 45 in there. But I feel very accomplished that we were able to get that done. I just believe that to be able to get the cars out and to give people closure family members who wonder where their family members are.
When I was out campaigning, trying to address the pension unfunded liability, then also working on the other post-employment benefit liability, but having been someone that was intimately involved in that process, really was a Herculean task, and one of the first things to set the city on the right foot going forward in the future.
I'm really proud of how we've fortified ourselves as a city, and as the mayor likes to say, build Houston forward.
There were some other things that I'm really proud of too. The little free libraries in my communities, that's been a big deal, getting access to books. So I think, but overall, the work I've done around children has been the thing I'm most proud of, that I have really devoted a lot of the resources that have been made available to me to focusing on those who really, truly need it the most.
The first issue I had in my office, I didn't know basically what to do, and I called my chief of staff, and he said, "Did you call director so-and-so?" And I'm like, "Oh no." So I called the director. Sure enough, the director gets on the phone and, "Council member, what is it that I can do for you?" And I said, "Well, this is the issue, this is the problem. We'll take care of it, council member," and da-da-da. And before I knew it, it was taken care of. And I was like, wow, I'm a council member.
After you're elected as a council member, immediately you kind of lose your name and people greet you by your title. And it's very, very strange at the beginning because they'll greet you with council member elect. So good to see you. Congratulations on the race. It's great to have you, council member elect. No one says your name anymore. I think it's funny that to say, "Good morning, council member. How are you, council member?" "I'm fine, council member. How are you? How was your weekend, council member?" They use it like a name.
Dwight Boykins was on the council, and I just loved Dwight. But Dwight sometimes had to comment on everything that happened, and so I got one of these round bells that the city secretary had. I put it there on my desk, and I hit the button when he was talking. He hadn't been talking but about 15 seconds, and he immediately stopped. I thought about getting me another one of those bells for the council members that talk too much at council.
My colleagues I get a kick out of often, because somewhere along the line, some of us believe that we get paid more, evidently, for speaking on the microphone. In case you haven't noticed yet, you don't get paid more.
I do know that there has been a term that I've used once or twice while I've been here in the controller's office, and that's structurally balanced budget. We have a structurally imbalanced budget. There were some bingo pools going on how many times if you would say structurally balanced budget. Structurally imbalanced budget. There were some games through the budget process throughout the year about different things that, unfortunately I said repetitively.
Structurally balanced budget.
Structurally balanced budget.
Back in the day, we used to have a challenge basketball game. It was City of Houston against the mayor's office. Of course, the mayor's office stacked them with college basketball players and people that were good. But the funniest thing was Ingrid from the mayor's detail was covering Councilmember Ellen Cohen. Ellen was playing with the ball, and Ingrid went up to and basically just knocked her on her rear end. Thank God we have a council now with more females than men, so that we discontinued the basketball games, because everybody came home either with a cast on their leg or something on their arm or some stitches. It was a pretty physical game, but it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing it.
Dave Martin has called me a pack rat recently, which I take great offense to. I'm a collector of fine art. And the dictionary also says that a pack rat is a very intelligent animal. So take that, Mayor Pro Tem. But that being true, I think I've also traveled with the Mayor Pro Tem, and I've traveled with Mayor Turner. Recently, traveling with the Mayor and the Mayor Pro Tem, we went to Tokyo, Japan.
The trip to Tokyo, we received some food that was set in front of us.
And I gotta say, as great ambassadors for the city of Houston as these two gentlemen are, they do not like the food.
I'm not an adventurous eater.
Dave Martin in particular is not eating anything that I saw on the streets of Havana.
They would stick this food in front of us. As soon as they did that, I would walk around the room.
He's looking for Cracker Jack, he's looking for a granola bar, and some bottled water. That's his idea of a Caribbean venture.
So the first night when I got home, back to the hotel, I went across the street to Shake Shack and got a hamburger, french fries, and a chocolate milkshake.
For Mayor Turner, I'm thinking about some attempts at sushi in Japan.
Jeff was ordering hamburgers for not only Mayor Turner, but the entire staff, because they did exactly what I was doing, and that was not eating the food.
They were looking for the Shake Shack.
And people ask me, how was the trip? How did you enjoy the food? And my answer was, I didn't eat any of the food, but I sure did enjoy Shake Shack.
So you can always count on some, colorful and exciting comments from my seatmates.
Councilmember Bradford would always shake his mic, and his word was always nexus. I need to, what's the nexus of this ordinance compared to where we go from here? I sat next to Dwight Boykins for, God, I think it was 6 years. And there are scars on Dwight's leg from me reaching over and pressing him, because he would hit the button, and whenever Dwight would hit the button, you never knew what was going to come out of his mouth. So I would grab his leg and say no and turn his button off. And those were the fun times that we had. And then Vernita Jones, she's a pain, because she wouldn't let me keep my office after December 31st. Yeah, she's trying to kick me out as we speak. So I don't like being kicked out of my home. She's trying to kick me out, so I told her I'm going till December 31st, 11:59 p.m. But she's still trying to get in there and start painting. And my mean answer to her was, if Sylvester Turner's staying in his office till December 31st, I'd be darned, you're not gonna kick me out. Those types of stories are always fun, with Kubash and his sayings.
Well, Councilmember Kubash has a number of things that he's said over the years, and I've taken some notes, but if I told him that, or if he knew I was doing that, I think he'd feel that that's just wrong.
They would mimic me when I would say, well, that's just wrong.
That was just wrong.
That's just wrong.
You got to put me on the inside. You vote for me, I'm going to be on the outside. You're going to put me on the inside.
They really liked imitating that, but hey, they're right. It is wrong.
You never know what's going to come out of Michael's mouth, but you know it's going to be funny half the time.
We've got to continue to push to make the city better, and I'm glad we were able to all have a little bit of fun throughout the process.
I think I've really enjoyed being the Mayor Pro Tem. Hopefully Mayor Turner can look at me and say that Dave was a loyal Mayor Pro Tem. He did everything we needed him to do to get things done in the city of Houston. I applaud the Turner administration. I applaud everyone in this room here today enjoying this lunch.
I've enjoyed serving on council. I enjoy being here. I'm going to miss this, but it's good to have served here with Mayor Parker and Mayor Turner and all these council members.
The thing that makes me happiest is hopefully people look at me and say he was a good man. He was a good mentor to the people that I worked with. He was a good friend.
Yeah, well, early on, the mayor and I, as you know, the mayor and I have a difference of opinion about how we think the city should be run. The mayor and I got crossways over my cowboy hat. Nobody's ever in the history of Houston, city council members ever had a picture with a hat on. So now, when people arrive at the Houston airports, they're greeted by at least one cowboy wearing a cowboy hat in the city of Houston, Texas, the world's home of the largest rodeo on the planet Earth. And although we do go head-to-head sometimes at council, I respect the mayor. I think he's done a good job for the city.
You know, I was there when Mayor Turner threw out the first pitch, and I think he threw it from the pitcher's mound to halfway to home plate. I was there, and the first time he got on the horse, and he had to basically bribe the horse by feeding the horse peppermints because he was afraid that the horse would buck him off. And I think he spent about 2 weeks out at the corral riding the horse, getting ready for the event.
It was really great building time with them, being ambassadors for the city, but just getting to know one another as we serve around the horseshoe.
So it's something that, it's something that I'm going to miss here at council.
So going forward, I would just say to those of you all that are staying, let's make a conscious effort to work together, to listen to each other, to respect each other's positions, and be productive for the citizens, because I think that's ultimately, we are all here representing the people.
Sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree, but at the end of the day, I believe that we're all working for the same goal, and that's to make Houston a better place.
Who would have thought that 8 years would have come and gone so very quickly? You all have been here serving as council members for at least 25 years. But let me say just how much of a privilege it has been for me to serve with you I've enjoyed working with you, even with Councilmember Kubosh and Councilmember Knox. You all have been so consistent. You just voted against me so many times. But then at the same time, we voted together overwhelmingly more than we've had disagreements. My love for you is so very great. But look, it's been one hell of a ride. And let me tell you, I wouldn't replace these past 8 years for anything. We've always been able to get along and still work together in a very collegial fashion. And that's one thing I take a great deal of pride on. All the best to you. Thank you for your service. And I firmly believe, collectively, together, we have made this city better than the city that we all inherited. And for that, the city of Houston can be very proud. So enjoy, and I'll see you down the road.